Hey everybody, welcome to your practice. We are going to do a recovery flow together. So just some simple feel-good stretches and movements. Let it be some rest for your body, some connection to your body and your breath, and let your mind be focused here and your energy here just for a few moments so you can connect and relax. Let's get started. We're gonna need either a bolster or a pillow or 2 blocks. And then take a moment to set up your space. I like to play some music or do a room spray or a candle. This will help us bring our senses into our practice and into our bodies. And we're gonna get started in a child's pose. Place your bolster on top of your thighs and drape your stomach over top of it if that feels okay. If not, bring your knees wide and your big toes to touch and sit your hips back. So if you have the bolster, you can rest your head down and see if you can start to tune into your breath and bring your breath into the back of your body, your rib cage, the sides of your waist, and down to your pelvic floor. And then your exhale is just gently letting it go. You can close your eyes down if you'd like to really tune into any sensations, any areas of expansion or more stuckness. And no need to force, just let it be information and see if you can create just a little bit more space. Lift up slightly. You can remove the bolster and put it to the top of your mat. And then take a side child's pose stretch. So walk your fingertips over to the right. And then let your left shoulder and left hip kind of roll open and closed. Twisting through your thoracic spine and reaching long from left pinky finger all the way through your left hip crease. One more big breath here. And then walk over to the left. So switching sides, pin your right hip back to your right heel, and then reach long through your right side body. And you can stay still, or you can curl your heart open and closed, rolling through your hip and shoulder and your spine. Final breath. Good. And then we'll meet in a tabletop pose. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. And then a moment of free movement. I like to start with some kind of hip rainbows. So dipping your hips over to the right, and then arcing through the center, dipping to the left. Good. Notice how this helps you find some rotation in your hips. And then a little bit of spinal movement. So let's take it segment by segment first. Finding a neutral spine first, tugging long through the crown of your head and opening wide through your sit bones. Press the ground away lightly with your hands. And then start to lift one segment of your spine at a time up towards the sky. So starting with the tailbone, like you had a magnet right above you that's just slowly gliding up. So your tailbone will lift and then your low back will lower down, your mid back, your upper back dips, and then kind of reach your heart forward as you lift your chin up. And take a big breath here. You might feel some clicks or pops. Then reverse the motion. So now we're rounding your tailbone down and moving segment by segment. Your lower back lifts, mid back, upper back, and then curl your chin in as you press the ground away. And then one more in the opposite direction, so starting with your head and neck. Move at your own pace. Again, just information where your body is able to glide a little more freely, or maybe you have any patterns or compensations. And bringing mindful attention to these areas and these movements. Finish up your last one. And then let's invite some fluidity into the body. That was very precise and important to do that. And let's let it feel good now. So you can bring your knees a little bit wider and sit your hips back. And then just wave out your spine naturally. You can pair it with your breath if you'd like to roll forward on an inhale. Shoulders over wrists. And then exhale, untuck your pelvis, sit back to your heels. It can be big or slow movements. Big or small, slow or fast. Maybe close your eyes and just start to feel that connection to your body. You can tune into the layers of your fascia and notice how this allows you to feel elastic and strong in your body and connected through the center and all the segments. And then eventually keep that waving motion going, tuck your toes, and then lift your hips. So it's kind of like a down dog, but knees are really bent. And then your heart is reaching forward, gaze is towards your fingertips. So really a lot of space in your down dog. You could start to squat the knees back and lift the hips higher, kind of pulsing in and out of your calves a few times. And then you could push through your palms, shrug your shoulders up and down. Whatever feels good to explore your body here. Melting your heels. And then as you're ready, walk your feet forward to the top of your mat. Hopefully your bolster is waiting or your blocks are there at the top of the mat, so you can place your hands there. And then a little bit of a sway from side to side with your hips again. Your knees can be plenty bent. Let your head hang heavy and your spine decompress. Find center again. Notice the big toe side of your foot and the pinky toe side and the heel all grounding down. And then roll up your spine one segment at a time. So pushing through your feet, stacking your spine up all the way to the top. And then you can roll your shoulders back. Maybe drop your ear to your shoulder as you come to stand. Wiggle it out. Find some natural movement. Shake your hands out. Good. And then sweep your arms overhead. Hold on to opposite elbows. And then reach up through your heart. As you exhale, dip your right shoulder down, your right elbow down, and then gaze up to the left. So taking a side stretch, your knee can be bent or straight. Inhale back through center. Exhale, side stretch to the left. Good. One more on each side. Move with your breath. Back through center, arms sweep high. And then exhale, find your fold. Dive your heart forward, hinge your hips back, belly to thighs, and lower down. Inhale for a halfway lift. Lengthen the crown of your head forward and straighten your spine. Feel wide through your rib cage. And then exhale, step your left foot back into a low lunge. Slide your bolster on the inside of your right foot, and then you could walk your right foot out wider or angle your toes out, whatever feels good for your hips. Hands are propped up on your prop. And we're going to move into some hamstring flosses. So dig your right heel down slightly into the mat, and then lengthen the front leg as you sit your hips back to your heels. Front leg does not need to go all the way straight. Relax to come forward, and then dig your right heel down. This engages your myofascial tissue on the back of your thigh as you lengthen that leg, and then relax to come forward. So our hamstrings are attached to our pelvis, and as we floss this area out, it can be really good for our posture and alignment. If you're having any low back pain, SI joint pain. Let's do about 2 more. Good. And then step your left foot on the outside of the left bolster. Okay, so come up onto your toes in this wide stance squat and just rock side to side through your ankles. Your heels do not need to be planted on the ground. Just whatever depth of squat feels okay for you. You could always sit up onto something or take more of a wide fold. Just trying to sink your hips in between your feet eventually and let it feel good. And then as you're ready, step your right leg back into your low lunge, slide your bolster back again, and then a few hamstring flosses by digging the left heel down and lengthening back, maintaining that slight tension in the rep from the very start through the very end, and then relaxing to come forward. You could experiment with speed or with angling your left foot out. And then maybe just notice from side to side anything that feels similar or different. Let's do one more. Good. All right, tabletop pose again. Remove your prop, step your left knee back to meet your right. And check in with your body. This is a good kind of grounding, equalizing posture. So feel the pressure of your hands and your feet into the mat. Notice your spine and your pelvis. Your breath moving in and out through your rib cage and down through the bottom of your pelvic floor. Softening your belly. And then close your eyes, take any free movements that might feel nice for you. You could do side stretching, barrel rolls through your rib cage, cat-cow. Shutting off your mind and letting your body take over for a moment. Two more breaths here. Let it feel good. And then find stillness, find a seat. You could sit up onto a prop. I'm using my bolster. And find a Sukhasana. So this is just crossing one leg in front of the other. If that's not comfortable, you can kneel. You can lean back onto something. And then feel your sit bones grounding. Lift up through your chest. Take an inhale. And then exhale, take a twist over to the right, but let it initiate from your core instead of just using your hands to prop you open. Feel that connection to your center line as you peel your right shoulder back and stay tall through your spine. Inhale at your end range, fill up through the sides of your rib cage. And exhale back through center. Inhale, twist you open to the left. Let it come from your own body. Moving with your breath and stay here. Exhale through center. One more inhale over to your right. Exhale, release. Inhale to your left. And exhale to center. Take any wiggles, or you could always slide your hands along your legs. We're gonna find a comfortable seat. You could also switch the cross of your legs if it feels better to even it out. And close your eyes down eventually if that feels okay for you. Notice your breath. See if you can let it slow down for a moment. In and out through your nose. Traveling low into your belly. You could start to bring a gentle count to your breath, doing a box breath or a samavriti, even parts breath. If you'd like to join for that, we will do a couple rounds of a 4-count inhale, a 4-count pause at the top, a 4-count exhale, and then a 4-count pause at the bottom. So as you're ready, take a final breath and empty the air from your lungs. Seal your lips and we'll inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale fully through your nose for 4. Pause at the top for 4. Release your exhale for 4. And hold at the bottom for 4. So repeating on your own, inhale, letting your mind trace this even shape of a box, following your breath. Bringing balance to your mind and your body. One more round. So finding a sense of presence again in your practice. Release the count of your breath, and we'll finish off with a little bit of a cool down and shavasana. So you can blink your eyes open if you close them. And really inviting ease now. Roll onto your back. And you could have a prop underneath your feet to bring the ground up to you. We're going to take a figure 4. So cross your right foot over your left ankle. And just sway your hips side to side. Roll your ankle out in one direction. And then switch direction of your circles. And let the rocking, swaying motions of your hips open your glutes a little bit, your hip rotators, but also just be a relaxing, soothing movement for you. And then switch legs, left ankle over right knee, swaying your hips, dropping your knees side to side, rolling out your ankles, whatever feels good. Finish up with another breath. And then hug your knees into your chest. One hand on top of each knee on that same side. Take some circles, separating your knees out and around, rotating in all directions gently through your hip socket, and then reverse the direction of your circles. So it doesn't have to be a huge motion, but just lubricating the joint. Good. Now maybe your knees move in the same direction and you massage out your low back for a few. And then switching. Place your feet wide. Your kneecaps are pointed up to the sky. Take a few windshield wipers, so knees dropped towards the right, but press into your left foot a little bit to keep your left glute active, kind of stabilizing at the low back. And then drop your knees over to the left, pushing slightly through your right foot. And then rolling back and forth. Your final movement here before we do just a minute or two in final resting posture. So any other movements that would feel good for you, take those now. And then stretch your legs long, your arms long, by your side or on top of your belly and your chest. Take up space, get comfortable, close your eyes, and then just settle into a little bit of rest and silence and stillness. Letting your attention trace its way along your body. If there's any areas of tension you notice, give them a little squeeze and then a big relaxation. And let your breath move softly in and out through your body. yourself pause and feel spacious, relaxed, soft and heavy and present. Allowing yourself a few moments of ease in your day and your busy weeks. Remembering how it feels to connect with yourself. You can stay here as long as you have time for. If you're ready to transition out, you can roll to a side. Take your time coming to a seat. Maybe keep your eyes closed along the way. Get comfortable again just for a breath or two. Notice your body, your spine, your breath. And let it go. You can start to slide your hands along your legs, just waking up the body along your arms, opening your eyes as you're ready, and taking in the space around you. Maybe stay for a moment, just take inventory of your body, your mind, your spirit, letting yourself have a moment of recovery and reconnection. So I hope you feel great. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.